Emerging economies have long been synonymous with cheap manufacturing and large labor forces. In previous videos, we have seen how these factors have led to the rapid growth of emerging economies and their indigenous multinationals, or EMNCs. In this video companion to the 2017 Emerging Markets Report, written annually by Lourdes Casanova and Anne Maru with the Emerging Markets Institute at the Cornell S.C. Johnson College of Business, we will investigate how EMNCs have begun to compete on quality and branding in markets traditionally dominated by developed economies. Popular wisdom holds that EMNCs compete on price, creating cheap goods to cater to their parent economy's comparatively low wealth per capita. However, as these parent economies have grown, emerging market multinationals have increasingly begun to compete on brand and quality, catering to the new tastes of their home markets. This has translated to EMNCs charging higher prices for some goods, comparable to developed multinationals. On this chart, you can compare the normalized average prices for certain goods originating from the United States, Japan, China, and Korea. For goods like air conditioners, televisions, and cars, EMNCs, particularly Korean multinationals, compete head-to-head with developed brands. Let's take a look at laptops, desktops, cell phones, and tablets, high-end markets where EMNCs have recently begun to compete. In this price comparison of laptops, Apple products with their high brand recognition dominate the other companies. However, Dell, the other American company on this list, has prices close to their Chinese competitors. A similar story unfolds with desktops. Again, Apple dominates, but Dell is only slightly ahead of Chinese competition. Looking forward, one can anticipate more pressure as Chinese companies push down prices in this market. For cell phones and tablets, the principal players are Apple, along with Korea's Samsung and China's Huawei. Samsung sells the most smartphones globally, followed by Apple, which boasts the highest profits and valuations in the stock market. Huawei has the best-selling phone in China and is poised for further advances in technology and more aggressive marketing to establish global brand recognition. The other three Chinese companies, Oppo, Xiaomi, and Asus, occupy a different market segment, competing internationally on price rather than brand, though even these companies are now entering other emerging markets, as well as Europe and the US. Like the multinationals of post-war Germany and Japan before them, EMNCs like Samsung and Huawei have increasingly made the jump from competing on price to competing on brand. They have focused on driving efficiency, quality, and productivity across supply chains and building brand recognition in their home countries. With the new focus on brand, the price differential between G7 and E20 firms is shrinking, and in some consumer markets, products' prices are in similar ranges. There are now signs of greater emphasis being placed on branding as EMNCs progressively enter the world of global brands, with firms such as China's Lenovo in laptops and Samsung and Huawei in smartphones leading the way. In some ways, this emphasis on quality and branding is a natural growth of EMNCs. However, while competing on brand captures more value, it may also be necessary. The cheap labor advantage of emerging economies, especially of China, is slowly eroding, which will make competing on price increasingly difficult going forward. Thank you for watching our analysis of the growth of emerging economies and the opportunities and challenges faced by their multinationals. These videos are produced on behalf of the Emerging Markets Institute at the Cornell S.C. Johnson College of Business as a companion to the 2017 Emerging Markets Report. We hope you'll join us for the 2018 report, which comes out November 9th during the Emerging Markets Institute Conference at the Cornell Tech campus on Roosevelt Island in New York City.